Hello everyone. This video is focused particularly on class 11th and 12th physics student. And this entire video is basically about a very important question that is practically raised by every 11th and 12th class physics student. And you might have also thought about this question. I definitely used to wonder about this. And if you have not thought about this question, then you should think about this question. And I'll also try and provide the answer to this question. And the answer might seem a bit obvious at first, but generally it's not very obvious when you enter into your class 11th or 12th physics curriculum. And so this very important question is that why are we studying these different and variety of topics and concepts and solving these different numericals? So for example, what I'm trying to say here is that in class 11th, as soon as you enter and you start your physics curriculum, you are exposed to a variety of different topics and which might seem not very related. तो आपके चैप्टर्स होते हैं मोशन एंड इट्स लॉज, वर्क एनर्जी एंड पावर, रोटेशनल मोशन, ग्रेविटेशन, thermodynamics, oscillation and waves. And instantly when you start your curriculum, you're exposed to a variety of different definitions, concepts, and then on each of that concept, you're made to solve problem. And same thing happens when you enter class 12th कि आपके पास subjects होते हैं electricity, magnetism, current, optics होता है, atoms and nuclei होता है, semiconductor होता है, and then you're made to study variety of theory, concepts, definition, and solve these numericals. And so one thing that students sometimes end up wondering is that what's the point of studying all of this? What's the point of solving these numericals? Where are these things, these practices adding value to my life, right? And it's a very genuine question, and you should ask this question. And if you have not asked this question, then you should basically. And to just to exemplify this question even more, for example, मान लीजिए आप motion and its laws वाला chapter पढ़ रहे हैं, तो naturally most of it is related to vector, and then you are given a variety of different problems. For example, एक motor boat है and उसकी एक speed है, then there is water current which is affecting the motion of this boat, and so on. And तो आपको basically एक resultant velocity field निकालनी है, for example, and this is just an example question I'm giving. Then instantly you move to work and energy, and you're exposed to a variety of problems related to spring, and उसका spring constant होता है, and friction होता है floor में, and just variety of these problems. For when you're studying gravitation, another one of these very interesting topics, you're exposed to different kinds of systems. सिंगल पार्टिकल सिस्टम होता है, मल्टीपल पार्टिकल सिस्टम होते हैं, एंड आपको उसकी पोटेंशियल एनर्जी, फोर्स फील्ड एंड सो ऑन निकालना होता है. तो आप ये सब क्यों कर रहे हैं? मतलब आई एम जस्ट ट्राइंग टू एग्जाम्प्लीफाई कि आप ये सब करते हैं, बट कई बार इट बिकम्स डिफिकल्ट टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट व्हाई आर यू डूइंग दिस, एंड आई विल कम टू दैट. So for example, in class 12th, when you're studying current wala chapter, you study about the inductor, capacitor, and resistance, and then there are a variety of problems: resonance, impedance, RMS potential. आप optics पढ़ते हैं, so then again rays, waves, prism, lens, mirrors हो रहा होता है, ये सब कुछ चल रहा होता है. Then आप atoms and nuclei पढ़ते हैं, so then you are exposed to new topics and definitions. Binding energy होता है, half life होता है, radioactivity of elements होता है. So we do study all of this, but in parallel we also wonder that what's the point of studying all of this, and where are they adding value to my life? So I'll answer this question, but before that, just as a 2 minutes exercise, we'll play a small game to basically make this answer seem more obvious. And so I'll come back to this question that I raised in the previous slide. But now let's assume that we are playing that you are a journalist. Okay? So you have a job of a journalist, and let's assume that a murder has occurred in your city, right? So now your job naturally as a journalist is to write a newspaper article and to report this news properly, right? So that's your job now. And let's assume that you end up writing an article. So here, just an example, I'm writing a fully fictional article here. And you go something like that there is some guy and he's 34-year old, murder has occurred last night, and that he was returning. Basically, you write some article on that. Okay? Now the question is that how are you able to write this article? Right? आपको ये अल्फ़ाबेट्स कैसे पता हैं? ERIK अल्फ़ाबेट्स, आपको ये वैरायटी ऑफ अल्फ़ाबेट्स, हाउ डू यू नो? हाउ डू यू नो वेयर टू यूज़ अ पास्ट टेंस? यहाँ पे वॉज लगाना है. हाउ डू यू नो दैट हियर यू हैव टू यूज़ अ प्रेजेंट टेंस? आर लगाना था, पुलिस आर इन्वेस्टिगेटिंग. हाउ डिड यू नो हियर यू हैव टू यूज़ future perfect tense, will be made, and so on. How did you know ki you have to put a comma here, you have to put a full stop here, and so on and so forth? So how did you know all of this? And you knew all of this because you are fluent in English. Because over your period of life, you have been exposed to alphabets A, B, C, D, E, F, G. You have been exposed to a variety of, you have been exposed to a variety of English rules, syntax, grammar होती है. You have been exposed to variety of English poems, stories, text. आपने movies या videos देखी होंगी English में. तो जब in school when we used to study A, B, C, D, E, F, it might seem meaningless that what's the point of studying alphabets? No one's going to ask me alphabets. What's the point of studying present tense, past tense? No one in future, in job or otherwise is going to ask me ये फ्यूचर है या प्रेजेंट टेंस है, सेंटेंस में बताना, इसका सिंटैक्स में क्या लग रहा है बताना. नो वन डज दैट एंड यू आर डैम राइट अबाउट दिस. नो वन आस्क यू दैट. बट दीज concepts and these alphabets and everything, they basically set the foundation of your English, using which all these concepts, English concepts, you internalized, using which you were able to write this article very easily. आप ये लिख पाए, you could perform your job, and so on and so forth. In a very similar way, the idea of studying all these 11th class topics and these 12th class topics जो हैं, this is to practice these concepts so that you become fluent in physics, right? तो आप internalize कर पाएँ physics, you just become very fluent in it, and so that in real life, in future when you have a job, you are able to solve real life complex science and technology problems, right? So now that you have entered into the stream of science, class 11, 12 में आपने science ली है, naturally it's expected, and you would also expect of yourself, that in future you'll have a career in the field of science and technology and innovation related. ही engineer होगा, natural science होगा, innovation करेंगे. तो how will you be able to perform on your job जब fundamentals नहीं पता, right? So for instance, let's say tomorrow you become a chemical engineer, and you will get a task, something like this is an example task, like design a more efficient cooling system for a car engine, right? तो ये एक बहुत ही कॉम्प्लेक्स टास्क है, एंड नेचुरली ये आप फ्यूचर में जाके ही करेंगे अगर आप मैकेनिकल इंजीनियर करते हैं. बट येस, a mechanical engineer typically requires great knowledge about motion and its laws, work energy power, rotational motion, thermodynamics, oscillation in waves, in addition to many other topics. But जब इसी में आपने इन टॉपिक्स की ही ABCDEF रूल्स ग्रामर नहीं पढ़ा होगा, आपने ये नहीं पता होगा कि एफिशिएंसी क्या होती है, आपको कूलिंग हीटिंग नहीं पता होगा, आपको इंजन्स के बारे में नहीं पता होगा, तो आप ये रियल लाइफ कॉम्प्लेक्स प्रॉब्लम कैसे सॉल्व कर पाएंगे? उसी तरीके से जब आप रोबोटिक्स इंजीनियर बनेंगे तो यू विल गेट अ वेरी कॉम्प्लेक्स टास्क, लाइक डेवलप अ रोबोटिक आर्म दैट कैन सॉर्ट पैकेजेस बाय साइज एंड कलर ऑन अ कन्वेयर बेल्ट. तो कन्वेयर बेल्ट है, उस पर सॉर्ट करना है. तो जब आप यू विल नॉट बी नोइंग द वेरी बेसिक्स प्रेजेंट डे में आपके 11th क्लास में, जब आपको अगेन मोशन एंड इट्स लॉज, रोटेशनल मोशन, एक रोबोट का आर्म रोटेट करता है फ्रॉम अ पॉइंट, फ्रॉम अ पिवट पॉइंट, जब आपको इलेक्ट्रिसिटी, मैग्नेटिज्म, करंट, ऑप्टिक्स, सेमीकंडक्टर ये सब नहीं पता होगा, तो आप फ्यूचर में कैसे कर पाएंगे? सिमिलरली, लेट्स से आप you're not interested in becoming an engineer, you're interested to pursue natural science field, let's say something like astrophysics or space scientist आप बनते हैं. So a typical task would be something like determine how our Milky Way galaxy एंड इट्स स्टार्स फॉर्म्ड एंड उनका डायनेमिक्स के बारे में आपको पढ़ना है, उनके स्टार्स के काइनेमेटिक्स के बारे में पढ़ना है। तो जब ग्रेविटेशन में इन योर प्रेजेंट डे अगर आप एक या दो बॉडी प्रॉब्लम ही नहीं सॉल्व कर पाएंगे, वन बॉडी प्रॉब्लम, टू बॉडी प्रॉब्लम, देन गिवन आवर गैलेक्सी हैज़ मिलियंस एंड बिलियंस ऑफ स्टार्स, आप उसका ग्रेविटेशन कैसे सॉल्व कर पाएंगे फिर, राइट? तो उस टाइम तो आपसे ये एक्सपेक्ट किया जाएगा कि दीज टॉपिक्स विल बी टेकन फॉर ग्रांटेड कि ये तो आपको अच्छे से आते ही हैं। And so same goes for chemical engineering कि you need great knowledge of thermodynamics and atoms and its nuclei in addition to the chemistry topic as a whole, right? तो आप वो deliver तभी कर पाएंगे जब आपके fundamentals clear होंगे. So it basically all boils down to कि ये जो आप 11th and 12th में पढ़ते हैं 11th and 12th के topics, these are basically your fundamentals of physics, which you definitely know that these are the fundamentals. So they will set the stage of your future career, of your future life and so on when you continue in the field of science and technology, right? So I hope this video helped you understand that what's the point of studying these topics, and you feel more motivated to study these topics, and you're also able to get a broader picture कि okay, अगर आप कोई एक particular topic पढ़ रहे हैं तो उसकी फ्यूचर लाइफ में एप्लीकेशन होने वाली है, एंड होपफुली क्या एप्लीकेशन हो सकती है. सो येस, आई होप दिस वीडियो हेल्प यू एंड ऑल द बेस्ट.